The world premiere of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's newest project, Walt Disney Animation Studios' Moana 2, took place last night in Hawaii, and several WWE superstars were in attendance, including Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins, and Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes. The Rock, who reprises his role as Maui, spoke about the atmosphere at the premiere.
And so to be able to come here, and it's a global premiere of Moana, and a lot of people around the world who are excited to see it. I got my family here. A lot of people flew in. Man, it's awesome.
Moana 2 is in theaters November 27th. On to our next story. Ahead of Saturday's AEW Full Gear, AEW and Ring of Honor head Tony Khan spoke with the media for an hour. Tony Khan said they have sold thousands of tickets for their debut in Australia, which is also taking place in a stadium. When asked about how fans will be able to watch, Tony Khan was reluctant to commit to it being a pay-per-view due to the time zone difference between Brisbane and the US. In the same answer, he mentioned Max and how his key shows will be simulcast there, perhaps a strong hint that is how it will be made available.
Well, we're very excited to make our debut there. We have sold thousands of tickets in the market, and it'll be a great debut for us in Brisbane, and hopefully the first of many shows down there. And as far as how it's going to run, I think it will present some challenges in terms of the timing of the event and the time zones as far as presenting it as a conventional pay-per-view here domestically. I think it's something to keep an eye on. One of the great things about our media rights deal now is the opportunity to have our TV shows also their streaming specials. All of the Dynamite and Collision episodes will be on TBS and TNT respectively, but they're also going to live stream on Max, which is really exciting. And I think it's a great opportunity for AEW. And Grand Slam Australia is in Q1, and it's going to be one of the major AEW events for sure. And it was part of the big live events announcement. Of course, we announced some TV shows, and it'll be a little bit of a different cadence for us going to Australia versus a normal TV week, but it'll be a great event, and everyone's going to be able to see it. I think the time zones present some challenges, and asking everyone to pay as a pay-per-view for that. So it's definitely something we're going to make available to our fans here domestically, though, for Grand Slam Australia.
When asked about how the WWE ID program will affect their recruitment of talent on the indies, Tony Khan was unsure as he still isn't clear about all the parameters. He said it will be interesting to see how it goes the first time they have a WWE ID talent they want to bring in. As such, he will reserve his thoughts until he tests such a mechanism. It hasn't been a conflict yet, but he's interested to see how this goes when it does.
I think that we still are looking at top young wrestlers every week, international wrestlers and domestically. It will be interesting to see the first time we have a talent that is under one of those that we bring in. I think I'm not completely sure how those deals are going to work. I've heard some stuff about there being matching rights with the people that have signed them, which would be an interesting thing. I have some thoughts on it, but I will reserve my judgment until I actually test such a mechanism. So I only know what I've read about them, but it's interesting. And I think for us, we have a great roster right now of wrestlers spanning all ages, from very, very young wrestlers to decades of experience. And identifying young talent is really important to us. So it's something to continue looking at. We bring a lot of top young wrestlers into AEW and Ring of Honor. And so far, it has not been a major conflict with any of those talents being signed elsewhere and it impeding their ability to work with us. But it'll be interesting to see how that goes in the coming future. Obviously, that's a recent development.
Other notes from the media call include Tony Khan said he's learned a lot about marketing and entrepreneurship from Big Boom AJ and Big Justice of the Costco Guys fame.
Well, it's been tremendous. It's been absolutely tremendous. It's something I've enjoyed. I have learned a lot about marketing and entrepreneurship from AJ and Justice. Those guys are tremendous. I really enjoy talking to them. Tomorrow I'm going to be on Fox Business Network talking about this collaboration with Big Boom AJ. And they've built a great brand. They're a really nice family. It's nice to see a father and son working together. And I think that's part of the appeal. Like, clearly America and people all over the world want to see this father and son. They're having a good time. They like spending time together. And they like watching Justice and the Rizzler grow up. And it's really a nice thing. And I personally have really had my eyes opened to what they've been able to do. It was so cool to hear their name on The Tonight Show and to be featured on The Tonight Show and have AEW discussed on such a prestigious platform. That was really cool. And that's just one example of the kind of high profile media that Big Boom AJ and Big Justice have been bringing to AEW. And we're very excited to have the Rizzler at Full Gear too. I think that's awesome. And it's a great collaboration, and absolutely it's indicative of the kind of great collaborations we want to have with our marketing partners.
Additionally, he said that they are having active negotiations about Ring of Honor and other AEW programming. He also said news of Toni Storm's retirement and her demise has been greatly exaggerated and hopes to have her back soon. Tony Khan said he would also like to get Kenny Omega back soon and that it would help them a lot and would be a great thing for AEW. He also said it would be months before they announced anything regarding the pay-per-view buying capability on Max.
It's too soon for me to be able to give an update on that, and a lot of that is in the hands of our amazing media partners to whom we are very grateful at Warner Brothers Discovery. We have a great relationship there, and it is a blessing to bring pro wrestling back to TBS and TNT and now launch pro wrestling for the first time ever on Max. I'm really excited about it, and I know that the simulcast of Dynamite and Collision will be something the fans can look forward to kick off 2025. The pay-per-view delivery on Max will require a lot of upgrades and technical work on the back end. I don't want to put a date out there that I'm not really sure on, and I know that there's so much work to be done by the Max engineering team to provide that capability on the pay-per-views. So I will have to punt on the coverage of when that question you asked about when the timing when the pay-per-views will launch on Max. As far as that being the service to carry them, we've got a lot of great pay-per-view providers in the interim now, with Bleacher Report sunsetting the pay-per-view capability. We do have, of course, YouTube, PPV.com, Triller, Fight TV, and all of our cable and satellite providers, a number of other ways to see the pay-per-view in the interim. And really looking forward to when Max gets that delivery system up and running. And I think when it is up and running, we do have a plan for the delivery, including how that will work for the Max subscribers. And it's just a matter of time before we can roll it out. But it's something that will definitely be heading to the fans at some point in 2025. But for the Max pay-per-view delivery system, it could be several months at least, I think.
On to our next story. Confirming a long-standing rumor, Vince and Linda McMahon are officially not together as a couple anymore. Linda McMahon's attorney, Laura Bravetti, confirmed to the Washington Post that Vince and Linda are currently separated. The news was included in a story that the Washington Post published on Linda, as she is set to join Donald Trump's administration for his second presidency. While Linda and Vince have been married for nearly 6 decades, Dave Meltzer wrote in 2022 that they have lived largely apart for a long time. It was announced on Tuesday night that President-elect Donald Trump is nominating Linda to his cabinet as Secretary of the Department of Education. She had been considered a leading candidate for Secretary of Commerce, but got this position instead after Cantor Fitzgerald CEO Howard Lutnick was chosen for the Commerce job. Linda will need to be confirmed by the United States Senate for her role, though there is expected to be a 53-47 Republican majority in the Senate following the results of the 2024 election. When Linda was nominated to lead the Small Business Administration during Trump's first presidency, she was easily confirmed by bipartisan support in an 81-19 vote. Last month, a new lawsuit was filed against Linda McMahon, Vince McMahon, and WWE relating to the company's ring boy scandal of the 1980s through the 1990s. Linda could face questions about the lawsuit during her confirmation process. Her lawyer Bravetti claimed to the Washington Post that the lawsuit is baseless and filled with exaggerations and misrepresentations, lies from a 30-plus-year-old allegations. Vince McMahon and WWE are facing a separate lawsuit from former WWE employee Janelle Grant, who has accused Vince McMahon of physical and emotional abuse, sexual assault, and sex trafficking. Vince resigned from the WWE and its parent company of TKO Group Holdings after that lawsuit was filed. This summer, Linda said everyone in her family is doing great in the wake of Janelle Grant's allegations. Janelle Grant's lawsuit has been on a 6-month pause since June amid a legal investigation into Vince. That 6 months runs through December 11th. In addition to her cabinet role in the first Trump administration, Linda's political history includes 2 unsuccessful Senate campaigns as a Republican candidate. She is a former executive for WWE and once served on the Connecticut Board of Education. Recently, Linda has been helping run a pro-Trump fundraising organization. Stephanie McMahon tweeted how proud she was of her mother, Linda McMahon. On to our next story. CM Punk feels like he wasted some matches on some people by working with them in AEW. Over the weekend, CM Punk spoke with Cheap Heat podcast at Complex Con in Las Vegas. Peter Rosenberg asked CM Punk if there is anyone in AEW he would have liked to tell a story with but didn't get the chance to. To which CM Punk responded, "No, I feel like I wasted some matches on some people for sure, but that is what it is. Like, some people understand the business, some people don't. And I think everybody here understands the business." CM Punk did not name anyone he was referring to by name. He was with AEW for a 2-year run from 2021 through 2023 that included backstage incidents with the Elite and later Jack Perry. CM Punk was fired from AEW following the latter incident. There were never any matches in AEW where CM Punk faced the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, or Jack Perry. CM Punk did work a turbulent world title program with former Elite member Hangman Page. After his departure from AEW, CM Punk returned to WWE for the first time in more than a decade. We're now approaching the 1-year anniversary of CM Punk's WWE return at Survivor Series 2023. CM Punk told Cheap Heat that he's had the time of his life back in the WWE. The only bad part has been the torn triceps that kept him out of action for several months. But CM Punk believes they were able to turn chicken shit into chicken salad by keeping him on television while out injured. Additionally, during the interview, CM Punk said he's done so much in his career that everything right now is frosting on a pretty badass cake. He's enjoying the ride since returning to the company. CM Punk is among the talent advertised for Raw's Netflix premiere on January 6th. And speaking of CM Punk, he will be returning to the small screen, but not for WWE for the time being. Announced by Variety on Thursday, CM Punk will be joining the cast of Revival, a televised horror series that will air on Syfy and that is currently in production in New Brunswick, Canada. It's based on the Image comic series of the same name. The character CM Punk will play was not announced, nor was the anticipated release date. The news comes a month after he was announced for a key role in the horror movie Night Patrol. CM Punk signed with Paradigm Talent Agency this summer with the goal of expanding his presence in entertainment. On to our next story. WWE star Jade Cargill has joined up with the Sports Group, a newly created division of Paradigm Talent Agency. Variety revealed on Wednesday that Jade has signed with the sports group for representation in all areas. The talent agency has a growing list of WWE clients that also includes Damian Priest, Tiffany Stratton, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, and Liv Morgan. In their announcement, Paradigm called Jade Cargill a living, breathing superhero. Their sports group division has a specialized team of agents working to represent a roster of elite athletes and iconic teams. On to our next story. A new match is set for the Wrestle Dynasty event on January 5th, 2025. New Japan Pro Wrestling has announced a four-way match for the newly devised International Women's Cup for the Tokyo Dome event set for January 5th, with the winner eligible to challenge for the title of their choice. AEW, Ring of Honor, Stardom, and CMLL will have qualifying four-way matches between now and Wrestle Dynasty to decide their promotion's representative in the four-way match at the Tokyo Dome. Wrestle Dynasty is the second of consecutive Tokyo Dome shows, with New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom 19 to take place on Saturday, January 4th, as is tradition. That's a wrap for this episode of The Latest. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Just a quick note before this free video. If you click like and subscribe, I'd be very thankful.